Hello and welcome back to our garden classroom. Today we're talking about things to do in the garden with your children in the month of May. We'll cover ideas of what to plant, grow, harvest and eat. Plus I've got some great educational activities to help you deliver a nature-rich curriculum for your kids. If you're new here, I'm Kathy, the founder of Nurture Store, which is a great resource for you if you're raising children. We specialise in hands-on creative lessons, including gardening activities, forest school and nature study to raise happy, confident and skilled children. Throughout the video, I'll point you in the direction of lots of ready-made lesson plans and printables that you can use with your kids to save you time and help you teach better. I have a playlist set up so you can see all our monthly gardening guides, but today let's start with a quick overview of what's growing this month of May. Spring's blooming in our garden and we're busy starting vegetable seeds. For us in the UK, now is the time to sow squash and to direct sow nasturtium and cornflowers. You can also still sow the plants from last month too. Summer squash, sweet corn, Florence fennel, lettuce, courgette, broccoli, celery, runner beans, beetroot, French beans, cabbage, pumpkin, basil, cucumber, peas and sunflowers. And if you are growing sunflowers, you might like to use my sunflower curriculum. This kit gives you a wide range of ready-made lessons that you'll be able to teach from now right through to the autumn, all based around the life cycle of your sunflowers. It includes science, math, literacy and art. You'll get this lovely printable sunflower journal for your children, plus lots more printables to help you teach. And if you're interested in this, you can use the link in the video description to get your copy of all the sunflower school materials. On warm days this month, you can open up greenhouse doors and windows and raise up the roof of your cold frame, but do still watch out for overnight frosts and don't plant out tender plants just yet, as you may lose them when you've only just begun. Keep up the weeding we began last month. This is a great weekly job for your children. Show them which plants are weeds and which to keep, and then give each child a bucket and set them to work. Putting in the effort now will really pay off, as you're pulling out the weeds now when the plants are small, so they won't grow any bigger and choke or steal nutrients from your other plants. Plus, the weeds won't be able to set seeds to grow again next year. It's a good idea to apply a layer of compost or mulch over the top of the areas that you've cleared of weeds. This will help stop any more weeds from growing there and give the soil a good feed in preparation for when your seedlings are ready to plant out into this soil. If you haven't already got a water butt set up to catch rainwater, now is a good time to get one so that you'll have an eco-friendly source of water for your plants when they need an extra drink in the coming warmer weather. In the UK, many councils offer subsidised compost bins and water butts, so it's worth checking with your local council site to see if they offer these discounts. Talking of bins, you can also start to think about adding that garden essential, a compost heap. This is a place to put all of your plant cut-offs, old leaves, grass clippings, plus veggie peels from the kitchen, egg cartons and other waste cardboard. Let Mother Nature work its magic and turn your garden waste into rich compost soil that you can use in the autumn and next spring to feed your future plants. By composting, you're teaching your children about sustainability and the closed circle of the garden. Nothing gets thrown away as we turn our waste into something valuable to sustain our future growing. There's a guide to making a wormery compost system on the Nurture Store website, which I'll link to in the video's description if you'd like to have a go at making one. The first new potatoes should be ready this month. Digging up potatoes is such a fun activity for children. They'll feel like pirates digging for treasure. You can add in a math activity here as you count how many potatoes you have, order them from biggest to smallest spud, and weigh them on kitchen scales. You might like to graph your results and include the details in your nature journals. You can also make your first salads this month as we start picking salad leaves and lettuce, spring onions, first peas, radish and asparagus. You might also forage and harvest wild nettles. which you can use to make nettle soup or nettle pesto. Foraging for wild foods show our children how people gathered food from the land for centuries, and stinging nettles are perhaps a surprising food for them to think of to eat, but they're highly nutritious and tasty. We've got a number of foraging guides on the Nurture Store website, which I'll link to in the video description, so you can get the printable guides for your children. Now is a great time to start a garden journal with your children, so you can chart your progress all through the growing year. Each child could make their own, or you could all collaborate to make a community notebook about your garden. Have a look at the guide on the Nurture Store website for ideas on what you can include in your nature journals, plus you'll find lots of printables there too. Some things we include are diary entries of our progress, so what we've planted, when things began to grow, and what we've been enjoying outside, which gives the children lots of opportunities to practice their writing. We also add photos and drawings of the plants and animals we observe. Treasures stuck onto the page, such as seeds or dried leaves or seed packets, and then also scientific and mathematical data on how high the plants are growing and what conditions they like. For a creative writing activity, you might like to make word birds. This activity, inspired by the textile artist Becky Adams, invites our children to combine art, writing and imagination as they turn a bird craft into a very special homemade book. They can use the birds they see in the garden for inspiration. They'll cut out a simple bird shape and decorate it with a collage of papers and textiles. Then they can write details of their bird and the places their bird has flown to on a piece of paper, which folds up like a concertina and is threaded through to become the wings of their bird. I'll share a link to the full details of this word bird activity in the video's description in case you'd like to make them too. You might also like to combine art with science this month using our nature colour wheel lesson. You can use the printable colour wheel to explore colours in plants. You can take your children on a mindful colour walk around your garden or in the forest, or by looking at natural materials that you've gathered on your nature table. Your children can talk about colours and develop vocabulary around the parts of a plant and types of colours. They'll look closely at plants and investigate their individual colours and distinguishing features, and think about and chat about why plants are different colours, considering things like, is it possible to find all colours in nature? Why do leaves tend to be green and flowers tend to be brighter colours? Do the colours in your outdoor classroom change with the seasons or the time of day? Then they can share their findings through journaling or art. I'll link to this ready-made colour lesson in the video description, so please help yourself to it and the printable nature colour wheel if you're interested. You might also like to use May to learn how plants take up water. This colour-changing flowers experiment is a classic children's science project. It looks like magic, but is full of the wonder of science. It's easy to do using white flowers such as chrysanthemums or carnations. You can even try a colour mixing experiment, making part of the flower blue and part of it yellow and seeing how the two colours combine to make the centre of the flower turn green. Our lesson plan talks you through all the steps and explains how the colour change works by the plant taking up water through its tubes called xylem. And again, I'll link to the lesson on the Nurture Store website in the video description if you'd like to give that a try. For more great gardening activities for your children, subscribe to the channel and check out my Nature and Forest School and Gardening Activities for Children playlists. You might also like to get a copy of my book, The Garden Classroom, and my Season School and Sunflower School Nature curricula, all of which give you ready-made lesson plans for the whole year. You'll find links to everything in the video's description, so do take a look. Thanks for watching and have a great week outdoors with your children.